Imagine checking the health of the American economy like you'd check your own health at a doctor's visit. Instead of using blood pressure or temperature, economists and policymakers look at something called the jobs report, a monthly update that shows how many people are working, who's looking for work, and how much money people are making. On August 1st, 2025, the US government released the jobs report for July. It wasn't a great checkup. In fact, it raised a few red flags. Let me walk you through what happened and why it matters to regular people like you and me. What is the jobs report? Every month, the government, specifically the Bureau of Labor Statistics, surveys thousands of businesses and households to find out how many jobs were added or lost, how many people are unemployed, how much people are earning, which industries are hiring or firing, and whether people are working full-time or part-time. It's kind of like a snapshot of the country's working life, taken once a month. So, what did the July 2025 jobs report say? Well, here are the key points in plain English. First off, the United States only added 73,000 jobs. Now that might sound like a big number, but honestly, it's actually a sign of slowing down. In a healthy, growing economy, the United States typically adds somewhere between 150,000 and 250,000 jobs a month. So 73,000 is kind of like jogging when you really should be running. And even worse, job numbers from May and June were revised downward, which means we thought we had more jobs, but we actually didn't. That's a bit like finding out your paycheck was smaller than you were told. Second, the unemployment rate went up. The unemployment rate is the percentage of people who are actively looking for work but just can't find a job. In July, it increased slightly to 4.2% from 4.1%. That might not sound like a big deal, but honestly, it means more people are struggling to find work, even as inflation and the cost of living stay high. Most job growth came from just a few places. Almost all of the new jobs came from healthcare and social assistance. Think nurses, therapists, and social workers. But other industries like retail, construction, and manufacturing didn't add much at all. That's kind of like a football team scoring all its points with one player while the rest of the team stands still. And honestly, it's not sustainable. Why is this important to you? Even if you don't follow the stock market or care much about politics, this jobs report actually affects your everyday life. Here's how. Wages went up by about 3.9% over the past year, which is good. But that might not really keep up with inflation. If your pay is going up slower than your grocery bill, you're actually falling behind. Now let's talk about interest rate. The Federal Reserve, which is kind of like the boss of interest rates, keeps a really close eye on the jobs report. If the economy seems weak, the Fed might decide to lower interest rates to make it easier for businesses and families to borrow money. That could mean mortgages, car loans, and even credit card rates might go down. How the stock market took this report? Investors definitely got spooked by the weak report, and stocks actually fell right after the news. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or any retirement savings, you might notice the value dipping for a bit. But hey, that also means the Fed could step in to help stimulate the economy. One more twist, politics got involved. Believe it or not, President Trump made headlines the same day by announcing new tariffs, which are basically taxes on imported goods, and firing the head of the Labor Statistics Office because he didn't like the jobs numbers. That's kind of like blaming your bathroom scale for telling you your weight. The numbers were disappointing, but firing the messenger really shocked a lot of people, and honestly, just added to market uncertainty. What should you take away from this? Here's the big picture. The job market is cooling off. There are fewer new jobs, slower wage growth, and more people unemployed. This could mean the economy is heading into a slowdown, which might affect hiring, pay raises, and your personal finances. But it also means there's a chance the government could cut interest rates, which might help loans and mortgages get cheaper. The July 2025 jobs report was a wake-up call, not a full-blown emergency. It's a sign that the economy is no longer as hot as it was, and we all need to pay a little closer attention going forward. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It's free and helps the channel bring you more honest, no fluff money advice every week. Okay guys, see you next week with more personal finance videos.